In this video, we will be ranking all known Titan shifters from weakest to strongest. We'll start with Tom Sava, and we will slowly start moving towards much more powerful Titans. Tom Sava was an Eldian researcher and warrior who held the power of the Titans. Tom was the former inheritor of the Beast Titan before transferring this power to Zeke Yeager. In his early adulthood, Tom lived as a resident of the Liberio internment zone. At some point in his life, he fell in love with a Marleyan woman. Knowing that it was forbidden for Eldians and Marleyans to marry, he purposefully hid his Eldian armband whenever he saw her, and the two soon got married and had a son. Several years later, she discovered his Eldian heritage and promptly killed both their son and herself in shame. Tom discovered them shortly afterward and was overcome with grief. He would later become a warrior and eventually proved himself to inherit one of the 9 Titans, the Beast Titan. His Beast Titan form possessed features of a sheep, having had a pair of dark curved horns on its head, a lathan muzzle, and a nose resembling the animal it takes after. He possessed all regular Titan abilities and didn't have any unique power of his own. It's presumed that Tom did not utilize his Beast Titan form often, due to claiming that his Titan was not useful in war, so we had to put him at the bottom of our list. Number 17, Peak Finger. It's well known throughout the series that the Cart Titan is not the most useful Titan when it comes to combat, so our beloved Peak is the next Titan shifter on our list. Peak grew up in the Liberio internment zone and joined the warrior program as soon as she was eligible so she could provide medical care for her father. After performing well enough, she was chosen to inherit the Cart Titan. When she arrived in Shingeki district at Paradis Island with Zeke Yeager, she used her Titan to scout enemy positions and provide Zeke with boulders to throw at the soldiers. She doesn't engage in battle herself, but rather stays behind Zeke and helps him. She usually keeps cargo and supplies on her back and is labeled as a support unit. When Zeke is defeated and almost killed by Levi, Peak comes to his rescue and carries him towards town. Later on, she's present at the Battle of Fort Slava at the climax of the war between Marley and the Mid-East Allied forces. There, we can see her Titan modified for battle, being fully armored and equipped with 4 machine guns operated by her Panzer unit. While most other humans containing the power of the Titans are unable to stay in their Titan forms for extended periods of time, Peak is actually able to remain in this form for extremely long periods of time due to the incredible endurance of the Cart Titan. During the Marley Mideast War, Peak stated that she spent around 2 months in her Titan form and as a result has begun to walk with the aid of a crutch. Peak also claims she can perform hundreds of consecutive transformations. Number 16, Marcel Galliard. Marcel was an Eldian boy who joined the warrior program at a young age with his younger brother, Porco. Marcel proved to be very talented during his training, notably in tests of strength and endurance, and eventually he stood among the 7 remaining warrior candidates for inheriting the power of the Titans. Marcel was worried for his younger brother and never wanted him to inherit the power of the Titans in the first place, so he intentionally diminished Porco's reputation and made Reiner the leading candidate to inherit the armored Titan. As the Jaw Titan's most prominent feature, Marcel's Titan form possessed a great biting force, which was strong enough to crush cannons. Due to its small size, Marcel's Jaw Titan had a high level of speed and agility. Shortly after inheriting the Titan, he was sent to Paradis Island with other warriors in order to capture and retrieve the Founding Titan. On the first morning of their arrival, Marcel was eaten by a pure Titan while trying to save Reiner. Because he died at a very young age, we can't accurately tell how powerful he really was, and for that reason, we couldn't rank him any higher on this list. Number 15, Frida Reese. Imagine having the most powerful Titan in the world but not knowing how to use it. That's the case of our next Titan shifter, Frida Reese. Frida was the true queen of the walls and the last of the Founding Titans before it got merged with the Attack Titan. It's believed that around the time she turned 15, Frida learned that her uncle, Yuri Reese, was dying and was the holder of their family's Titan. She volunteered to be Yuri's successor and injected herself with a Titan serum, transforming for the first time in the cavern below the chapel. Frida's pure Titan consumed her uncle's upper body, and she received not only the Titan powers that Yuri had inherited, but the memories of the world before the walls. Frida essentially became the living book of humanity and had the power to spread the information if she chose. But like all the others before her, she was influenced by the will of her ancestor, Karl Fritz, and chose not to. Frida is present with the Reese family the night Grisha Yeager raids the Reese chapel. She listens as Grisha pleads with the Reese family to protect the people from the Titan invasion. For a moment, Frida appears willing to agree to Grisha's request, but then she seems to be forced to change her mind due to the first king's will. Grisha had no other option but to engage in battle with Frida, and he successfully defeated and stole the Founding Titan from her. Because of her royal blood, Frida had the full abilities of the Founding Titan, but she was not experienced in using it. Number 14, Grisha Yeager. Grisha Yeager was an Eldian doctor who originated from the Liberio internment zone in Marley and was one of the Eldian restorationists and later the father of Eren Yeager. Grisha joined Eldian restorationists after learning that his younger sister, Faye, was actually murdered by Marley officers. Through his activities and a mole in the Marley legal system named the Owl, Grisha got information about Eldian history and met Dina Fritz, a person of royal descent. A year later, they got married and had a child which they named Zeke. During this time, Marleyan military started a warrior program and Grisha decided that he would send his own son into the program as a mole for them. Zeke's performance in the warrior program was very poor, and it looked like there was no chance for him to be selected. At the age of 7, Zeke exposed his parents and all of the restorationists, and they were sentenced to go to Paradis Island as pure titans. When Grisha arrived at the top of the wall, the Owl finally revealed himself as one of the Marley officers. He saved Grisha and told him everything about the power of the Titans. Upon getting the power of Attack Titans, Grisha successfully infiltrated the walls and married a woman named Carla, who later gave birth to a son they named Eren. While living inside the walls, he eventually discovered the location of the Reese family's chapel, as well as the hatch leading down to the basement where the succession rituals take place. Grisha revealed himself to be an Eldian from beyond the walls and begged Frida Reese to use her founding Titan ability to save the district from the Titans that are breaking in. However, succumbing to the will of Karl Fritz, she refuses to act. He then transforms into his Titan and manages to defeat and kill Frida along with the rest of her family. He had some experience with Titan abilities. That was the reason why he managed to kill and eat Frida Reese, a Titan that almost matched his size and possessed the founding Titan. Number 13. Ymir. Many years ago, a nameless Eldian girl lived in the streets of Marley as a beggar with no home. Eventually, she was found by a man who gave her the name Ymir, after the ancestor Ymir Fritz, and brought her into a group dedicated to the worship of Ymir. She was acclaimed by many Eldians in the group, and Ymir chose to abide by her new role in order to bring happiness to those around her, despite knowing that she did not descend from royalty. Eventually, the group was discovered by the public security authorities. To save himself, the man who found and named Ymir claimed that she had deceived him. After being paraded around Marley and stoned by angry citizens, the members were taken to the borderline of Paradis Island and forcibly turned into pure Titans. Ymir spent about 60 years wandering outside Wall Maria as a pure Titan until one day she encountered young warriors. She attacked them and managed to eat Marcel Galliard, who had the power of the Jaw Titan at the time. She later joined the 104th Training Corps in order to find a girl named Krista Lentz. A while later, when they were surrounded by pure Titans at Utgard Castle, after seeing no way out, Ymir jumps from the tower and cuts herself with a knife to trigger her transformation. This is the first time we saw a Jaw Titan in the show. Despite her small size, Ymir's Titan form had above average speed and agility, which made it easy for her to climb walls and trees. She dispatched multiple enemies in quick succession by biting them in their nape, while using her claws and pointed teeth. However, her size has proven to be a problem since she was easily overpowered by Titans not long after her transformation at Utgard Castle. Ymir also possessed the ability to partially emerge from the nape of her Titan form, allowing her to interact with others while still being transformed. She was also one of the few Titan shifters that could talk in their Titan forms. If you thought Ymir was strong, wait until you see Titans on the top of the list. Number 12. Eren Kruger. Eren Kruger was an Eldian spy posing as a Marleyan officer. He founded the Eldian Restorationists and used the pseudonym The Owl to communicate. Secretly, he possessed the power of the Attack Titan. Kruger was born to an Eldian family living in Marley, and his father was a member of the Eldian Revolutionary Army. Unfortunately, the army was very ineffective, and its members, including Kruger's father, were captured and burned alive by the Marleyan officers as Kruger hid in a closet. Afterward, he was rescued by friends of his father. Sometime later, Kruger was able to join the public security authorities as a spy, thanks to an Eldian doctor who was able to fake his blood tests. As a spy in the military, Kruger would spend his military career turning thousands of Eldians into Titans over the years in order to hide his identity. 13 years after inheriting his power, Kruger saves Grisha from being thrown off the wall. While mutilating his hand, he taught Grisha how to use the power of the Titans before, in his Titan form, destroying the Marleyan steamboat and slaughtering all the remaining soldiers. As part of the Attack Titan's unique abilities, Kruger was able to receive memories of the future Attack Titan holders. He also showed incredible strength as he could lift and destroy the Marleyan ship. Number 11. Porco Galliard. Porco Galliard was a warrior candidate who inherited the power of Jaw Titan after the previous owner of the Titan, Ymir, agreed to be taken to Marley and eaten. 4 years after the warrior's return, Galliard is present at the Battle of Fort Slava. Under orders from the Marleyan superiors, led by Commander Magath, he engaged in battle as soon as the Gabi destroyed anti-Titan artillery. After clearing their defenses, Galliard keeps advancing towards the enemy, killing several soldiers inside the trenches and using his powerful jaw to break the railways. Porco had shown an outstanding level of speed and agility, even for a Titan. He could cover great distances while jumping, both when he was on the offensive and escaping from incoming attacks. He was so fast that he was able to make surprise attacks that the enemy was not able to predict. He was noted to be much faster than his predecessor, Ymir. Galliard's most prominent feature were his jaws, which were specifically made to bite very durable material. He had two sets of teeth. The first one is an exterior set of hardened teeth, and the second set is located inside the mouth, and it's a series of pointy teeth with hollow spaces between each individual tooth. This formidable weapon was efficient enough to bite and crush the hardened crystal of the Warhammer Titan. Number 10. Falco Grice. If someone told you after you started watching Attack on Titan that there was going to be a flying Titan on the show, you wouldn't believe it, would you? Well, the amazing world of Attack on Titan gave us one of the craziest Titans so far, and his owner is none other than Falco. Falco Grice is an Eldian warrior candidate working for the Marley government. He was originally one of the main candidates to inherit the Armored Titan power. During the Marleyan War with the Mid-East allied forces, Falco is present among other Eldians fighting on behalf of Marley. Falco survived the battle and returned to his hometown, Liberio, where he met Eren Yeager, who pretended to be a wounded soldier named Kruger. Falco is later asked by Eren to deliver a letter for him, claiming that the letter is to inform his family that he was safe and sound inside the internment zone. Having developed a sense of respect and admiration for the man, Falco obliges with the request. A while later, thanks to the letter Falco sent, Eren managed to contact his comrades in Paradis Island and organize an attack on Marley. After Eren and Survey Corps successfully defeated Marley forces, they were retrieved by one of the airships. Gabi and Falco managed to hook onto an airship and get on board. After Gabi shot and killed Sasha, they were captured and later imprisoned. A while later, after escaping prison, Falco reunites with his brother and learns that he accidentally drank some of Zeke's spinal fluid. Although Zeke expresses remorse for Falco's situation, the news does not stop him from screaming. After he transforms into a Titan, Falco is immediately ordered by Zeke to kill Reiner. Falco's pure Titan quickly gets the upper hand and begins to bite through the armor covering Reiner's nape. Before he can finish, Falco notices a severely injured Galliard nearby, stumbling out of his Titan and devours him instead, becoming the new inheritor of the Jaw Titan. He would later transform for the first time at Paradis Harbor as he tries to help Reiner and Annie. Like some of his predecessors, one of Falco's most prominent features as the Jaw Titan is a hardened jaw specifically designed to bite through durable materials. Like his immediate predecessor, Falco's Jaw Titan has two sets of jaws. The interior is a normal mouth and teeth, while the exterior is hardened and fashioned into a beak. Due to having been transformed into a pure Titan by Zeke Yeager's Beast Titan, Falco's Jaw Titan takes on some animalistic traits found in birds and later develops avian abilities and is the first Titan that could fly. Number 9. Reiner Braun. Reiner Braun is the vice captain of the warrior unit and the main protagonist of Attack on Titan from the Marleyan perspective. He is the illegitimate son of an Eldian and a Marleyan and grew up in Liberio's internment zone. Eventually, he was selected as a child to become one of Marley's warriors. At the age of 10, he inherited the power of the Armored Titan. He infiltrated Paradis Island alongside Berthold, Annie, and Marcel as part of an operation to reclaim the founding Titan. In his Armored Titan form, he destroyed gates of walls, letting a number of pure Titans in. He later joined the Survey Corps after graduating second in the 104th Training Corps. After barely surviving the battle with Titans at Utgard Castle, Reiner crumbles under the stress, worrying that he will not last much longer. He sets Eren aside and tells him that he is Armored Titan. He gets attacked by Mikasa and engages in battle with Eren in their Titan forms. While transforming into the Armored Titan, Reiner's body automatically produces a hardened, armor-like skin that covers most of his body, save for areas such as his joints at the back of his legs. The armor is hard enough to repel concentrated cannon fire without even stopping him. Blows from other Titans such as Eren, as well as blade strikes from the vertical maneuvering equipment. The durability of this armor is enough to withstand a direct collision from the Colossus Titan who fell from the top of Wall Rose, incapacitating Eren's Titan form and leaving a large crater in the ground. As stated previously, the Armored Titan can choose to harden or not to harden joints at will, sacrificing speed and combat ability for protection. However, similar to medieval armor, his body needs gaps around the joints in order to move with the necessary speed. This makes him vulnerable in just a few spots, like the inner part of his knees and his elbows. During the battle for Shiganshina district, Reiner was able to prevent his certain death on multiple occasions after transferring the functions of his brain into the rest of his body. With his profound ability, he was able to survive a direct strike to his spinal cord in the neck by Levi's blade. However, it's said that his ability is incredibly difficult to successfully carry out and is only used as a last resort. This proved to be the case when Reiner regained consciousness after regenerating his head, but lacked the memories of everything that had happened after parting ways with Berthold earlier that morning. Besides its armor, the Armor Titan doesn't really have any other notable abilities, but since Reiner was a warrior specifically trained in using his Titan, we think he deserves a 9th place on our list. Number 8. Lara Tiber. Lara was an Eldian noble living in Marley and secretly the inheritor of the Warhammer Titan. At some point within the past 13 years, she inherited her Titan powers, though her inheritance of these powers was kept a closely guarded secret. When the Tiber family arrives in Liberio, Lara joins her family to take up residence within the headquarters. Lara observes Willie's production backstage during the night of the festival, where he shares the knowledge of the Great Titan War. Suddenly, the production comes to a halt when the attack Titan bursts forth from the building behind the stage, killing Willie and starting a rampage. Lara survives the destruction of the stage and honors her brother for his work, starting her transformation into the Warhammer Titan. However, the attack Titan turns to assault her before her transformation can complete, relentlessly beating her Titan with hardened fists. She manages to stop the barrage by using her powers to impale the attack Titan on a massive spike of hardened Titan flesh while she regenerates her body. Upon fully regenerating her Titan, Lara generates her Titan's signature weapon to finish off the attack Titan. Without any desire to consume the attack Titan to gain the stolen founder, Lara decapitates the attack Titan, exposing Eren Yeager within the nape. The signature ability of Lara's Titan was the power to effortlessly generate massive spike-like structures out of hardened Titan flesh, ranging from ground spikes small enough to go unnoticed, or massive pikes large enough to impale the 15-meter Titan far above the ground. This structural hardening also allowed for the Warhammer to create objects such as weapons, notably the signature Warhammer for which her Titan is named. Much like the female Titan, Lara could use this ability to encase herself in a crystalline barrier. While encased in crystal, Lara could create a body of a Titan to be remotely controlled from a distance, enabling her to regenerate her entire Titan body without sustaining any damage to her human form, as well as circumventing the typical weakness of the Titan's nape. Number 7. Eren Yeager, Attack Titan. Eren Yeager was a former member of the Survey Corps and the main protagonist of Attack on Titan. He lived in Shiganshina district with his parents until the fall of Wall Maria, where he impotently witnessed his mother being eaten by a Titan. This event would lead to Eren's intense hatred towards the Titans, as he swore to wipe off all of them off the face of the earth. After the fall of the wall, Grisha found Eren and took him to a nearby forest. Grisha injected him with a Titan serum, turning Eren into a mindless Titan. Eren instinctively eats his father, receiving his Attack Titan powers, including the dormant Founding Titan. During the Battle of Trust, Eren transforms into his Attack Titan form for the very first time and starts killing every Titan he comes across. His Titan form was considerably more muscular and defined, making him much stronger than most of the Titans, while his intelligence and military training allowed him to outmaneuver and dispatch entire groups of Titans with ease. A transformation took a heavy toll on Eren's body and required large amounts of stamina. As a result, he had displayed several symptoms when he overexerted himself, such as a nosebleed, pale skin, and labored breathing. In some cases, Eren was rendered unconscious for a short period of time after a Titan transformation. Initially, Eren had no control over his actions as a Titan and was unable to remember anything that occurred during that time. He was in a dreamlike state and failed to remember how to transform in the first place. However, Eren recalled fragmented memories of his father by seeing the key to the basement of his old home and was able to successfully transform to protect Armin and Mikasa from certain death. It had been shown that with more transformations, Eren retained more of his intelligence, being able to form rational thoughts. After drinking a bottle labeled Armor from Rod Reese's bag, Eren's Titan form gained the ability to harden its body, as well as create a web of pillars that appeared to originate from his Titan's body. Focusing in his fists gave Eren a hardened punch capable of easily breaking the Armor Titan's face armor. As part of the Attack Titan's unique ability, Eren could reveal his own memories to his predecessors, giving them insight into the future. He gave memories of the future to his father Grisha, selecting the ones that would suit his purpose. Number 6. Annie Leonhardt. As a warrior candidate, Annie was praised as impeccable for her fighting abilities and was later chosen as one of the 7 candidates to inherit the power of the Titans. She was later granted the power of the female Titan in accordance with her stellar combat skills. Annie was selected as one of the 4 warriors to carry out the Paradis Island mission and retrieve the Founding Titan. A while later, she was present in her Titan form as the 57th expedition outside the walls began. As the female Titan, Annie is easily able to overpower veteran Survey Corps members and wipe out several squads in Erwin's specialized scouting formations. She was far more experienced in using her Titan form compared to Eren and was able to easily defeat him. She's arguably the most skilled Titan shifter we see in the series in terms of hand-to-hand combat. Annie has high mobility and endurance, unlike most human-controlled Titans, who are slower than her and who tire out to the point of collapsing. During the 57th expedition, she was able to run long distances while fighting against many soldiers and the attack Titan. Also, after escaping the Survey Corps' trap, she was able to transform for a second time without an extended recovery period. Annie is capable of healing any injuries and even regenerating any parts of her body that were possibly lost in a battle. However, she takes this ability to a new level, being able to focus this ability on certain parts of her body, healing the chosen injuries at a much faster pace as opposed to the automatic simultaneous regeneration of all the damaged parts. She also possesses crystallization abilities. Annie used this ability to generate a cocoon of incredibly durable crystal to trap herself in to avoid being interrogated, something that is similar to the structural hardening ability of the Warhammer Titan. Number 5. Zeke Yeager. Zeke Yeager has by far one of the most unique stories in the whole of Attack on Titan, from betraying his parents to betraying his whole nation just for his cause. As warrior candidate, he became very close with his superior, Mr. Xavier, who was the owner of the Beast Titan. Together, they thought of euthanasia plan to free the world from its fear of the Titans and the Eldians from their suffering by using the founding Titan's abilities to sterilize all subjects of Ymir, thus leading to their eventual extinction within 100 years. He inherited the Beast Titan from Xavier and became military chief. Because of his royal blood, he had abilities that none of the previous Beast Titan users had. He possessed immense physical strength, enough to break off large chunks from wall rows and hurl them at a great distance away. His throwing ability was second to none, and he created a visible sonic boom when he threw rocks, effectively throwing them faster than over 700 feet per second. Zeke's unique ability was a scream that can transform the subjects of Ymir into Titans. These Titans, unlike the regular Titans encountered, were capable of functioning at night as long as the moon is out. In order for the human to turn into a Titan, all the human must do is to intake Zeke's spinal fluid, and then Zeke can use his scream to transform them. These Titans are connected to his Beast Titan via paths and obey his orders. Zeke was able to harden his Titan body at will to protect himself from attacks. However, this ability needed some time to prepare. During his brief battle with Levi, Zeke tried to harden the nape of his neck but was unable to due to Levi's increased speed and attack, not giving Zeke enough time to harden himself. While offering ample protection, it can be damaged and destroyed with the use of Thunder Spears. Number 4. Berthold Hoover. Berthold's colossal Titan is the most iconic Titan in the show. His appearance in the very first episode started a chain of events that led us to the very end of Attack on Titan. Although it's stated multiple times that Zeke Yeager is the strongest Marley warrior, we just can't see him defeating Berthold's colossal Titan form, and that's why we rank Berthold higher on the list. Berthold Hoover was an Eldian born in Marley. He was chosen to inherit Colossal Titan after performing very well during the warrior training. His destructive power was massive, even at a young age. He was one of the 4 warriors sent to Paradis Island. When they reached the walls, he transformed and destroyed the gates of Wall Maria. The Colossus Titan was physically the strongest Titan shown in the series due to its immense size. A sweeping motion with one of his arms was enough to destroy all the cannons on top of Wall Rows, as well as damage the upper portion of the wall. He was able to stop Eren's Titan form by simply jumping off a wall, and not even in his complete form. Although all Titans generate enormous amounts of heat and energy when transforming, Berthold took this to the next level. He could control the energy produced during his transformation to create various effects. For instance, when he attacked Trost, his transformation only caused a wind blast that knocked some trainees over the wall. However, during the retake of Shiganshina, Berthold releases a similar amount of energy to a small nuclear device, creating a mushroom cloud of dust and rubble. Since Berthold's Titan form was far too slow to catch more agile opponents, he possessed a powerful defense mechanism that involved him releasing large amounts of extremely hot and pressurized steam from his body. The steam had enough force to deflect any cables shot from the vertical equipment and burn away or repel close-range fighters. It was shown that Berthold could sustain the effort of producing large quantities of steam for a limited duration, as seen in the fight on the top of Wall Rose. Number 3. Armin Arlerd. Well, there's another colossal Titan on our list, and we are sure you'll agree with us that this one is definitely stronger than its predecessor. Armin is one of the Survey Corps' most valuable assets, even though he finished his training outside the top 10 candidates. Being physically weak, Armin is rarely assigned to the front lines and rarely uses his vertical equipment for direct combat. Instead, his greatest strength lies in his intelligent, innate abilities of deduction and strategy formulation, be it in the war room or on the fly. Armin has a keen eye for detail, making him a remarkable field tactician, a trait that distinguishes him among his fellow trainees. His strategies help save his fellow soldiers numerous times, and more remarkably, he played a key role in deducing the identities of all the hostile Titan spies among the 104th training. Initially, Armin's intelligence was hampered by a severe lack of confidence, but after acknowledging and nurturing this side of himself, Armin's potential as a tactician began to show, and even high-ranking officers took his opinion seriously. Armin gained the power of the Titans, specifically the Colossal Titan, after being injected with the Titan serum by Levi and then consuming Berthold shortly afterward. Throughout the show, we only get to see Armin using his Titan form a couple of times. Armin's Colossus Titan possesses immense size and strength, capable of crushing entire battleships underfoot. Armin can unleash a massive explosion when transforming into his Titan. He used this to great effect during the raid on Liberio, devastating the Marleyan Navy with his transformation and sending massive shockwaves inland. In our opinion, Armin deserves to be ranked higher than Berthold simply because of his intellect and tactical mind. Number 2. Ymir Fritz. Ymir Fritz was the progenitor of the Eldians. When she was a young girl, she awakened the power of the Titans and became the first Titan, the founding Titan. According to Kruger, this was done when she came into contact with the source of all living matter as a young girl. With this power, Ymir became the progenitor of all Titans. The power of her Titan was the coordinating point linking unseen paths which united the minds of her people, the subjects of Ymir. What she accomplished with her powers is unknown, but after 13 years, Ymir met her death, and her powers were split between 9 successors who went on to build the Eldian Empire. Afterward, all inheritors of her power would be doomed to die after 13 years as she did, in a phenomenon that would later be known as the Curse of Ymir. No Titan would ever possess more power than Ymir had possessed in her life. Ymir's existence was hailed as a god-given miracle. Many would claim that, as the founding Titan, she used her Titan power to cultivate barren lands, build roads across the nation, and raise bridges through the mountains of the world. On the other hand, after the fall of the Eldian Empire and the Great Titan War, the new Marley government would spread slanderous legends that Ymir's power was derived from the devil of all Earth. You're probably wondering, how can anyone be stronger than Ymir herself? Well, let's get to the top of our list and find out. Number 1. Eren Yeager, Founding Titan. Eren's Founding Titan is the strongest Titan in the entire Attack on Titan universe. After realizing that he can use the Founding Titan by coming into contact with Zeke, Eren decides to pretend to go along with his half-brother's plan to sterilize the subject of Ymir. After they make contact and enter the paths, Eren discovers that the Founder's power is used by commanding Ymir Fritz, and learns that Zeke not only nullified the vow of renouncing war, but that he controls the power of the Founder, showing that if a person with royal blood possesses one of the 9 Titans, they can use the coordinates' full power instead of the actual holder. Eren eventually convinces Ymir to lend him her strength and uses the Founding Titans to unleash all of the Wall Titans, while creating a body for himself that is even larger than the Colossus Titan. He then uses the Founder's power to telepathically communicate with all of the subjects of Ymir, informing them of his plans to destroy the world outside Paradis Island. The Founding Titan granted its user the ability to control Titans at will and make them follow virtually any order without question. This was demonstrated by Eren, who unintentionally commanded nearby Pure Titans to eat Dina Fritz's Titan and attack the Armored Titan. The Founding Titan could transform the subjects of Ymir into Titans and could even make them as massive as the Colossus Titan. Karl Fritz used this ability to create the thousands of Colossus Titans that made up the walls. Eren used this ability on an even greater magnitude when he swiftly manifested numerous past incarnations of the 9 Titans and controlled them to attack his foes simultaneously. In the end, Eren was defeated by the combined efforts of the Survey Corps and the warriors. But as we later learned, Eren actually wanted them to stop him, and he didn't use his powers to their full potential. This means that if he wanted to, he could destroy the entire world and defeat any other Titan shifter who dare oppose him. With that said, he definitely deserves the top spot on our list. If you think we made any mistake while ranking all of these characters, feel free to tell us in the comments. Also, click on this video to see Eren's top 10 moments in Attack on Titan.